Mikhail Gorbachev was born on March 2, 1931, into a peasant family near Stavropol, Soviet Union. As he got older, he worked farm machinery at a local machine tractor station. His experience there educated him about political and agricultural problems in the countryside. In 1946, he became part of the Young Communist League, and by 1952, he entered the law school of Moscow State University and became a member of the Communist Party. Then Mikhail went back to his hometown where he began his career as a party administrator. After that, he was promoted to the post of party organizer and finally secretary of party leader in 1956. In 1961, he was made delegate of the party congress. Over the years, Gorbachev continued to advance in the political position, gaining knowledge about agriculture and economics, which eventually led him to becoming the regional agricultural administrator and party leader. Mikhail made a huge step in his political career when he became full member of the political bureau of the Central Agency. When General Secretary of Communist Party died, Mikhail took the spot in 1984. He was looked up to as he took over tensions and political problems others did not solve. He became close friends with Ronald Reagan and had meetings and collaborated to bring the Cold War into a close. After a disaster, both Mikhail and Reagan had to sign the INF Treaty, which was an agreement to reduce nuclear weapons. Gorbachev became the first president of the Soviet Union in 1990. During his year in his presidency, he faced problems like different ethnic groups having wars with one another within the Soviet Union, and other groups like the Ukrainians wanted to become independent states. While solving these conflicts, a rival leader came into play. His name was Boris Yeltsin. First, he and Gorbachev were allies. Mikhail took Yeltsin to Moscow to a Reagan Communist Party boss in 1987 to promote his political reforms. But that changed when Yeltsin attacked Gorbachev in a speech to the party's Central Committee. Boris Yeltsin then took advantage of his democratic reforms and ran for president of Russian Republic, where he won by popular vote. Gorbachev was fatally weakened and dependent on Yeltsin. Mikhail was brought back to Moscow to a press conference where he was forced to sign a decree banning the Communist Party. Then, on December 8, 1991, Yeltsin met secretly with the leaders of the Ukraine and Belarus, and together they agreed to dissolve the Soviet Union. In its place would be Commonwealth of Independent States. The Russian Republic comprised 3/4 of Soviet Union's territory, and Yeltsin got the biggest piece. Gorbachev then resigned as president of the Soviet Union on December 25, 1991, handing the suitcase with the nuclear codes to Yeltsin of Russia. By the end of the year, the Soviet Union was no more. It lasted from 1922 to 1991. The biggest injustice is the fact that Gorbachev trusted that Yeltsin would be his ally, and was betrayed simply because Yeltsin didn't like him. I also think that the destroying of the Soviet Union was not fair. Gorbachev was also seen as someone who cooperated to the ending of the state, even though his arms were tied up. Because he was a president at the time does not mean that he wanted that to happen. Gorbachev was someone who wanted better for his state and his people. He always looked for ways to make improvements that were needed. This type of injustice had been practiced before and can happen in the future. However, now with better government systems, the taking of someone's state or territory is not as common as it was seen in the past. To prevent from situations like this, I think competition should not be among countries or even states. Unity is the best thing that can happen between the people of Earth. Peace is better than war. After his presidency, Gorbachev has participated in many things like environmental organization, anniversary ceremonies, etc. He ran for presidency of Russia, only earning 1% of the votes. But then he was elected head of the Social Democratic Party, but resigned over conflict with party direction and leadership. He has won medals and awards. He was even banned from Ukraine for 5 years. In addition, Gorbachev is a still well-known man who shares his thoughts on many subjects.